Welcome back, everyone. Once in a while, I like to take a deep dive into my music collection. In this episode of my prog rock show, I will discuss 10 obscure sidelong prog epics. As LPs became more popular than singles, prog bands wanted to utilize all the space given to them on a record, roughly 20 minutes per side without degradation in sound quality. So what constitutes a sidelong epic? For this video, it had to be a song that took over an entire side of a record. So I didn't count anything that shared a side with another song to simplify things. There are many well-known examples of sidelong epics like Yes's Close to the Edge, Supper's Ready by Genesis, and Jethro Tull's masterpiece Thick as a Brick. So what are some not so well-known sidelong epics? Nova Solis takes up the second half of Morgan's first album by the same name, released in 1972. This clocks in at about 20 and a half minutes, featuring Morgan Fisher's otherworldly synth freakouts. The multi-part suite starts with an ode to Holtz's planets, specifically Jupiter, bringer of jollity. Vocalist Tim Staffel from Smile, aka the precursor to Queen before Freddie Mercury, shows off the versatility of his voice whether you like it or not. I'm on the like it side. Staffel even resurrects the Smile song Earth as one of the parts of the suite. So pour yourself a glass of methylated gin and enjoy this epic. Trust me, it is worth it. Swedish group Kaipa released 3 classic 70s prog albums. I honestly cannot pronounce their titles, so I will just translate. Kaipa's second album, Nothing New Under the Sun, features Appearances Are Deceiving, an almost 22-minute epic taking up the first side of the album. All the pieces that makes a standout symphonic song are in place, especially Roine Stoltz's guitar. The interplay definitely passes the time, and concludes with one of the best prog crescendos of all time. The lyrics are in Swedish, but this only adds to the charm of the song. When you thought there was nothing new under the sun when it comes to prog, Kaipa comes through with a true masterpiece. Supernova made its debut in the live setting of the Isle of Wight Festival in 1970. The mellotron, an extremely temperamental, mostly studio instrument, gave Gracious a difficult time, but since the audience didn't know the song, it didn't seem to matter. The multi-part Supernova would end up as the sidelong opener on the second Gracious album, This Is Gracious, released in 1971. Did I mention this song has the mellotron? Because Supernova is seeping with it. The Isle of Wight version is finally officially seeing the light of day on the recently released Gracious The Recordings 1970 to 1971 box set, which includes a DVD of Gracious performing at the festival. Dutch band Earth and Fire's second album, Song of the Marching Children, was released in 1971. It concluded with the 18.5-minute track by the same title. The concept dealt with the cycles of life and reincarnation. The strong vocal performance by the stunningly beautiful Journey Kagman.
What did you just say?
The strong vocal performance by the moderately attractive Journey Kagman, the only female vocalist on the list, gives the song depth while being backed by organ and mellotron. The 3-minute outro features marching-style drum that gets into the spirit of the theme. Earth and Fire tried to duplicate this formula on the follow-up titled Atlantis, but it didn't quite capture the same level as Song of the Marching Children. Any of Earth and Fire's first 4 albums should mostly please prog fans. German band Abacus recorded 4 albums in the 1970s, and even shared a stage with Pink Floyd and Emerson, Lake and Palmer at one point. They offered a slightly different take on prog, which might be why they are rarely mentioned. Their second album, or possibly third due to conflicting information, Everything You Need, was released in 1972. The second side of the album was consumed by a song about 20.5 minutes long by the same name. This song has been accused of just stringing several different songs together because it sounds like several different songs strung together. I think the proggiest moments are the clever segues between each section. Each section is actually not bad in my opinion, and the song is overall well paced. Perhaps Everything You Need won't make a top 10 list, but it is worth a listen. Hungarian group Omega, or Omega, came out of the 60s as a well-established band, but were shaken by a lineup change and a communist government. Undaunted, they would release Omega 5 in 1973 and the English version called 200 Years After the War in 1974. Sidelong opener, simply titled Sweet, was a 19.5-minute epic worthy of ELP, Pink Floyd, and the Moody Blues. Each part of the song offers something different, but flows nicely. Organ, mellotron, and guitar dominate, but driving bass and drums gives the song an edge, going from prog to psych to hard rock. As great as this song and album are, Omega would get even better with their next few offerings. Omega is a prog band absolutely worth discovering. Dutch band Trace's self-titled debut was an album I discussed in my 10 obscure prog rock instrumental albums video. But it was their second album, Birds, released in 1975 that pushed their composition skills to the limit. The second side of the album is overtaken by the 22-minute behemoth King Bird. This rollicking adventure features Rick Vanderlinden's dense keyboards on full display, including church organ, piano, and synthesizers. The album artwork uniquely illustrates each part of King Bird with comic book-style panels, giving the song more context. Unfortunately, Trace would never reach such a high mark again in virtuosity and songwriting. This is a must-listen for keyboard aficionados out there. German trio Triumvirate's 1972 debut, Mediterranean Tales, was a relatively strong start for what was to come. The band wasted no time making a statement with the sidelong suite Across the Waters. Bookended by the Mozart-inspired overture and underture, Across the Waters would take on a life of its own throughout the middle sections with Jürgen Fritz's thrilling classical-style keyboards. This song is actually the shortest on the list with a time of 16.5 minutes, and the whole album was actually recorded in a mere 3 days. Triumvirate would perfect the sidelong format with improved songwriting and vocals on their follow-up, Illusions on a Double Dimple, one of my favorite all-time albums. Nectar's A Tab in the Ocean, no, not that tab in the ocean, consumed the first side of their second album by the same name, hitting the shelves in 1972. Clocking in at just under 17 minutes, it is perhaps the most well-known on the list, but I do feel it gets overshadowed by Nectar's 1974 album, Remember the Future, which features 2 sidelong parts. A Tab in the Ocean keeps a lot of the psychedelic sound from their debut, since a lot of it was leftover material, but it does evolve with some prog stirred in. The song starts with the sound of ocean waves giving way to an organ arpeggio, immediately catching the listener's attention. The music transitions seamlessly from one part to the next throughout, but special recognition has to go to Roy Albrighton's guitar work that always fits perfectly with every song he plays. A different mix of A Tab in the Ocean for the US, released in 1976, makes for a fun comparison with the original German mix. Finch is another Dutch band I talked about in my 10 obscure prog rock instrumental albums video. Is it just me, or do the Dutch create a lot of great prog? Their second album, 1976's Glory of the Inner Force, continues what they started. Their sidelong opener, A Passion Condensed from what, I have no idea, expands just over 20 minutes. The song comes out swinging with high-energy melodic guitar and keyboards for almost the first half. Finch does rein it in a bit in the middle, but the song ends with the same excitement it had in the beginning. Keep in mind there are no vocals and the instruments do a fine job doing all the talking. I would say that Finch is one of the finest instrumental bands in the genre. Well, I should spend some time with the family since I spent almost 3.5 hours listening to only 10 songs. If there are any sidelong epics that I missed, let me know in the comments section below. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.
Do I have to have a little chat with this Journey girl?
Well, she's almost 80 years old now.